It sounds like one of NASCAR's most recognizable brands could be leaving the sport altogether. I guess it's just a sign of the times. Welcome back into the Breaking Balls channel. It's Bob here. I promise no Bristol tire talk today. You're safe on the channel. You are good to go. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you in the loop for all things racing on the track, off the track, in the garage, on the rumor mill. All of it's covered here. Before we get into our main story, though, it was announced this morning on the IndyCar side of things that fan favorite Alex Rossi has a long-term deal and a seat for IndyCar in 2025 and beyond, as Alex Rossi will be joining Ed Carpenter Racing in 2025 and beyond. In 9 seasons, the IndyCar drivers accumulated 8 wins, 30 podiums, and of course that iconic 2016 Indy 500 win. He is a fan favorite in the garage, like I said, and I'm glad to see Alex Rossi finding a landing spot after the musical chairs that was the McLaren team for 2024. He will be paired against youngster Christian Rasmussen, who was the 2023 Indy NXT champion. So an interesting but formidable lineup for ECR in 2025. Very interested to see what they look like moving forward, but glad to see Alex Rossi get a landing spot in IndyCar. He does deserve it. Moving forward, the main story today, you see it behind me, the FedEx bumper, a long-time scheme for Denny Hamlin. It goes all the way back to 2005 when they finally introduced a third car in Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, Adam Stern of Sports Business Journal is reporting that it sounds like FedEx could likely be heading out the door for both Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing and NASCAR as a whole after 19 full-time seasons in the sport. $25 million a year is roughly what they pledged to JGR, so a massive financial hole that could be left there. They were on every single race for Denny Hamlin's 11 team in 2021, all 38 events, but have slowly been scaling back. I'm sure you've noticed it as well. Even the 2024 season, FedEx scaling back. If you count this upcoming week at Kansas, FedEx will be on Denny Hamlin's car for the primary scheme up to only 10 races so far this year. So definitely a massive change. You've noticed Sport Clips, Yahoo, and especially Mavis Tire filling in for that 11 team and Denny Hamlin. But a recognizable and iconic brand in NASCAR. You see the bumper behind me. It's one of those brands you instantly recognize as Denny Hamlin's car. Like I said at the beginning, it goes all the way back to the 2005 season when Joe Gibbs introduced this 11 car as a third full-time car in the NASCAR Cup Series. Jason Leffler started the season in that 11 car. Denny Hamlin finished the season those last 7 races, and they haven't looked back since. An iconic brand in partnership between Denny Hamlin and FedEx. He's won over 40 races. It's the 8th winningest sponsor in NASCAR Cup Series history. So just to see FedEx going away, like I said, it's a sign of the times, but it's unfortunate. You don't see a lot of those brands stay around from the last 20 years. I think of Shell with Joey Logano, of course FedEx with Denny Hamlin, maybe Chase Elliott with Napa. Just a major sponsorship loss for Joe Gibbs Racing. But for motorsports as a whole, most people don't even realize this, but the FedEx sponsorship that they gave to Joe Gibbs Racing was actually used in the 2000s to be the primary title sponsor for the kart racing series before they split with IndyCar in the 2000s. From 1999 all the way to 2002, they were the primary sponsor for the kart IndyCar series. And like I said, once that split happened, you saw a lot of sponsorship leave IndyCar, and FedEx was one of the first major sponsors leaving before kart dissolved in that IndyCar split. Not only that, but the FedEx partnership with Joe Gibbs himself has been long-standing. Of course, Joe Gibbs was the coach and then owner of the Washington Redskins. What was the Washington Redskins and now Washington Commanders stadium name? FedEx Field. FedEx gave the naming rights up this year. So you've seen FedEx scale back, even with that partnership with Joe Gibbs the last few years. Just nothing to be able to be saved. Obviously, a lot of changes in that company the last few years with ownership in FedEx. It's just a shame to see another major brand leaving NASCAR that's recognizable, that's been there for decades. I'm sure Joe Gibbs will fill that sponsorship, but $25 million a year is a massive, massive difference there for that JGR team and for Denny Hamlin, who is one of the higher paid drivers in the garage. That was one of the major reasons Kyle Busch left in that 18 team, was they weren't able to fill the Mars sponsorship with them and M&M's leaving on that 18 team. So again, something to monitor here. It sounds like the writing has been on the wall for the last few years, and this could just be the last nail in the coffin for that FedEx team. The bumper behind me might become vintage, might become worth something there. You never know. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on FedEx potentially leaving Joe Gibbs Racing and that 11 team. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video. It helps us out a ton. We will keep you in the loop for all things NASCAR and racing here. Kansas this weekend, the first race of the round of 12. I'm very intrigued to see if we get the racing that we've seen the last couple of years with this next gen car. If so, If you can listen to me right now, watch this race. It's going to be must-see TV. Get your neighbors, get your friends who don't watch NASCAR, because this is going to be one of the best races of the year if it holds up to what we think it is. I know we said that about the Bristol race last weekend, but my expectations are a little higher for Kansas this weekend. But again, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.